Hey, it's GW coming to you live. I don't know how to address this topic, but I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot from the hip. Um, a long time ago, I got on plotdigger.com and I bought a few movies. I bought all of Ryan Nicholson's movies, as a matter of fact. Gutterballs, Famine, Torched, two versions of Torched, and a movie called Bleeding Lady. I also ordered Ryan's upcoming film Collar, as well as the unfinished BMF, which I'm not going to go into. I got a few of those movies and I didn't get all of them. So I contacted plotdigger.com, which is no longer in existence. And on the uh, on the bottom of the thing there was a phone number. And I called and I talked directly to Ryan Nicholson, the director of Gutterballs and those movies I just mentioned. And within 2 days, I had a replacement. And I had never seen Gutterballs. I watched them all, and I fell in love with his style of doing things in the horror department. I also learned that he did a lot of stuff for other shows. You can Wikipedia him up and check him out. So, fast forward a little bit, I kept talking to him through my smartphone, so we sent text messages back and forth. And it was around September of this year I wrote him, and I knew he was battling cancer, brain cancer. And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And we would just write back and forth. And he said that he was doing okay, but not good enough to direct anything. So I pitched him an idea for a movie. If you guys ever watched Gutterballs, and I hope you do check it out, it's a really sleazy filled, revenge movie that goes literally absurd and yet stays bloody and has a twist ending. I pitched an idea for a sequel to Ryan where Gutterballs 3 would take place way before Gutterballs 1. And Ryan created a really amazing character in BBK. And if you guys don't know BBK, he is the bowling bag killer. Um, Basically, Canada's equivalent to Jason Voorhees, give or take. So I pitched him an idea. Why don't we have BBK in his younger days be a typical guy, and it would take place at a place called Neon Lanes? And I I wrote him a bunch of stuff what I thought would be good in a movie, having watched Gutterballs 50 bazillion times, and the seldom seen Gutterballs 2, Balls Deep. I uh, I just had an idea for these characters, and I wrote him a sort of a treatment text, and he told me right away he could not be in it. And if you watch the film, he's in the film. So I said, well, you know what? Why don't we do it without you? Because if we do it when the characters are young, they we could pull it off. And I was willing to work on the script with them. My ideas as a horror fan, where it should go. Ryan was probably one of the easiest people to talk to in the movie making industry because he understood that the fans gave him everything. I had a relationship text wise and phone wise for about 4 years with him. I've watched Plot Digger, the company, go from a fledgling horror company to nothing and back again. I actually have a DVD signed by every member of Plot Digger when the company started. Ryan was cool like that. Whenever I got my order screwed up, he sent 2 free movies with it to say, hey, thank you. He worked with a lot of people. He was a Canadian makeup artist as well as a director. And I wrote him like a week ago, and I said, Merry Christmas to you and your wife, Megan. And if you guys know Plot Digger, you know Megan is in all the films. And they did a really cool remake of the movie Blood Feast. And if you guys ever saw the Herschel Gordon Lewis original, watch it on Amazon Prime. It was really good. Critics trashed it. I liked it. And Ryan and Meg did the realistic makeup effects for it. Ryan then started working for Arrow Video, I believe, with his wife Meg. And he was off social media for a while. Having been lucky enough to talk to him, and his death was not publicized. He died October 8th. And I know you guys are going to see this, and you guys probably don't know why I care so much about this. But Gutterballs was one of the really, truly sickening yet disturbing yet black comedy filled movies I had ever seen. And it raised the bar. It had profanity, I think 200 F words maybe, I don't know. But I dug it, and I dug his way of filmmaking, and I became a fan. And I found out about 5 minutes ago that he died of brain cancer on October 8th. And it might not mean that much to you guys, but I really admired him, and I liked the fact that the man behind the camera was like your next door neighbor. We called each other bro. He actually wanted to come up and visit me, but he said that he couldn't because of medical reasons. And he was going to stay in Pittsburgh. He was going to drive out here, and we were going to kick it. And I never said that to anybody. That's what he told me. And Ryan always made you feel like you were part of the family. And when you look at his body of work, yes, it's sickening. Yes, it's not for everybody. But when you talk to the man behind the crazy killer facade, you found out that he was just like you. And I don't like to preach, you guys, and I don't like to go on and on when somebody passes, because like I said, I know it's been a while, since he passed away, and when you first hear it, it shocks you. I was lucky enough to, like I said, talk to him. And like I said, we were kicking back the idea of a Gutterballs 3. Ryan didn't want to do it, but I was slowly talking him into it, and I think whatever I come up with was quite amazing. And for those of you who don't know Ryan Nicholson's work, I think Gutterballs is a good place to start. If you like movies like Spit on Your Grave, or, revenge films like Last House on the Left, you'll dig where he's coming from. And, I just don't know what to say. He was one of my favorite horror directors of all time. And for those of you who didn't know him, I think that you'd be surprised at how many things he's been involved in, not just in the horror department, but in other things too. So it's a shame. It's sad, and cancer really sucks. And it's weird because just today I went to the blood doctor, and my liver levels were a little bit up, and my gastroenterologist got a little bit finicky, and I wasn't so much scared. My wife was the one that was scared for me, and because I have the attitude, where whatever it is, let's just knock it out of the park. Let's beat it. Let's move on. But she really cared. And speaking of that, the doctor that I saw, Dr. Evans, is retiring. And she was an amazing woman, and I actually gave her my autograph, which I hope, if you're watching Dr. Evans, I hope you still have. Because that's an original, and I did that just for you, and what I wrote was real. So, but anyway, it just sucks because you realize that people that are in your life, they might be in your life for just a flash of a moment. And in that moment, I got to know one of the best horror directors on the goddamn planet. And he was really an inspiration. And he actually was one of the reasons that I started doing this. I started doing horror movie reviews, and he would message me back and forth, and he'd say, dude, good review, this, that, and your thing. And I know he'd watch. Even the stuff he didn't comment on, I knew he did. And the Plot Digger family was just amazing. Ryan and Megan, they were really awesome people. And Ryan, if I could say anything to you right now, I would tell you that, there's Nightmare on Elm Street, there's Friday the 13th. They're all knockoffs of each other, but your movies were like a morbid work of art, and they rocked. And I was lucky enough to like I said, talk to the guy, and he was so determined that he was going to beat this thing. He didn't fear death. We were told, you tell me we're going to die in a couple of months. We're not going to look at death in the face and spit in it. But he did. And all I can say is, Ryan, I love your movies, and I wish we could have met. And for those of you who don't know who he is, like I said, y'all should Wikipedia. I was just upset, guys, when I heard this, and I thought you guys ought to know. Because in the past, in some of the reviews, I hint around the fact that I really like this guy. But he will be really, really missed. And he has a huge body of work, and he was a really amazing human being. Even if you didn't like horror, if you met him on the street, he would somehow, sneak away to get inside your heart there and make you feel like you were with your best friend. So, Ryan, I know you wrote this on every DVD you signed for me, but stay sick. And I hope God's watching Gutter Balls right now. And you will be missed, brother. So with that in mind, I hope Brian Nicholson is never forgotten in the horror community.